We're back on the magic of the musicals. It's Alex talking to the biggest stars, and they don't come any bigger than our next guest. Lin-Manuel Miranda, what a great name.
Thank you. My parents are very creative. I don't know what to tell you.
And talking of things creative, you are, because you came up with the idea of this, you came up with the show, and you're in the show. How does that work then?
Well, I started writing the show when I was 19 years old. I was a sophomore at university. I was very homesick, and I just started writing my first full-length show, and here we are almost 10 years later on Broadway, and we've had a lot of help along the way. Kiara, most notably, my book writer, and Tommy, our director. But it's sort of like I built this really cool car and I get to drive it every night. It's one thing to write, Lights Up on a block in Washington Heights. It's another thing to get to live in that thing 8 shows a week.
And again, this show's been critically acclaimed and it's won loads of awards, and you're in it and you've created it. That's very rare, isn't it, that someone stars in their own musical?
Yeah, it is very rare, actually. I think there are a few examples that, Noel Coward being the best of us, being the high bar that everyone's trying to reach for. But we had Stu last year with Passing Strange, and then I guess the other example you'd have to go back to is, Harvey Fierstein wrote the book for Catered Affair, and he starred in that as well. But yeah, it's very hard because it's an insane thing to do. While everyone else is trying to learn their lines, I'm trying to forget everyone else's lines and just stay in one lane.
And how do you know that what you're doing is any good? Because it could become a car crash if you think you're brilliant and you're not, and you're ruining your own show.
Well, luckily, I never think I'm brilliant. And I also, I have the blessing of wonderful collaborators who really, I trust their eye and trust their instincts. And we've been writing the same show together for 5 years. So if you don't trust them at this point, then you got to get a new gig.
We're going to talk about the story in a minute, and we'll get to that. But firstly, I want to congratulate you on your performance. I think you give more energy to this role than I've seen on Broadway, and I've seen almost everything.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I have the advantage of having written to my strengths. So, this is not me trying to hit Jean Valjean's high Ds. It's a great joy every night. And another advantage we have is, we have the first 10 rows. If you come to New York to see the show, and I suggest you do, we have lottery tickets for $25 for the first 2 rows. So we have an audience there who is in the front, who is thrilled to be there. They've literally won something just to be there, and that energy really gets us through.
The energy you come on with in the beginning, how do you pull that out of a bag, particularly on a 2-show day, from nothing? Because to kind of work up to that, I can get it, but you come straight on with this huge number, which is kind of like a roller coaster, isn't it?
All I can tell you is I eat a lot of protein. I'm on the Michael Phelps 10,000 calorie diet, and you just, I've never thought about food so much in my life as I have this past year doing this show. You just have to eat right and wake up, and there's no substitute for 8 hours of sleep. So I live like a hermit, but I do get through the 2-show days.
And physically, how fit do you have to be? Because you're running all over the stage as well as singing, and that might seem simple to people just, from the outside, but actually it's all about here, isn't it? And if you're out of breath, you ain't going to get through the end of the song.
Absolutely. And I have more lyrics per capita than I think any other performer on Broadway due to all the hip-hop music in the show. But the real heroes are our dancers who are doing this incredible choreography. They are always stretching. We have physical therapy 3 times a week here at the theater, and they're all taking, they're all in yoga. They're all still taking classes, and you have to be in peak condition because you've seen this choreography. If you're in the wrong place, you're getting kicked in the face.
And as for you being a young guy, star of your own show, written by yourself, winning awards, how sexy must your life be on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, when you say it like that, I sound, I sound like Rupert Everett or something. I sound incredibly sexy. My underwear goes for much less on eBay than his does. I think it's actually, never mind. But really the life of an actor on Broadway is really, it's one of, it's like being a priest or a hermit. I mean, to get through the show and really do 8 shows a week, you go to sleep as soon as you get home, you eat right. I'm a Boy Scout. because you have to be.
And do you take any time off? Because this show is centered around you. Who does your fill-in as well as you do?
I actually have 3 wonderful understudies, one of whom is the dance captain. They do a heroic job. I've gotten to see the show exactly once since we opened. You know, I heard it was pretty good. And so I did the full disguise. I shaved my goatee. I had the hat and glasses and, you know, waited in line with everyone else. And I got the full experience. And it really is tremendous. And I hope it will live a long time beyond me playing the role.
The reaction is quite incredible. I did look around the audience at their mouths kind of drawn at how you got through it.
Yeah, it's it really is a joy. And, you know, when you do the same show 8 times a week, you have to pull from somewhere. And often we pull from the audience. And sometimes the energy, sometimes I don't want to give away the ending, but when that reveal happens in the ending and you see the looks on some of the faces, that astonishment can be the energy that gets you through the show. At least it is for me. I have the luxury of being the narrator, so I can look at them all the time. I check in with them. I see who's asleep in the second row. I see who's chewing gum. I've called people out for trying to tape the show. So I get the luxury of really taking the journey with them every night.
What a tremendous story for you to give to your grandkids.
Well, yeah, it is a tremendous story. It really is a dream come true. But, you know, when you think about it, Richard Rodgers had a show on Broadway when he was 18 years old. What's changed is the economy of Broadway has gotten so expensive that it's very hard to take chances. You want something, you know, if you're faced between In the Heights and Little Mermaid, you're going to pick Little Mermaid. You've heard of Little Mermaid. You know you like those songs already. But we've been blessed with excellent producers who really like taking chances on new talent. Title of Show, Drowsy Chaperone, Avenue Q, Rent. These are all things they've produced. And I was very lucky to find them, and I was very lucky and grateful that they believed in our work.
And well done for the cast as well, because there's so many personalities within it. A lot of the other shows, just kind of everybody looks the same, and they're all the same height, and they've all got the same size boobs, and they all look the same with blonde hair, and they're all tall. This is about characters, which is, of course, real life.
Right. Not to knock anyone with big boobs who is tall. God bless you.
They're my favorite.
Yes. But no, it's true. We're trying to reflect a community. This isn't a chorus line of dancers backing up the star. This is, everyone has their own personalities and stories. And we also have the luxury of having played for 6 months together off Broadway and being 22 of us sharing 2 bathrooms. So in that kind of situation, you either kill each other or you become a family. And we've opted for the latter. And I think it shows on stage.
Lin, thank you for allowing me to see this show and talking to you today. It's been a real thrill. And to find something new that's worth talking about is really rare. And I can really recommend this. It's different, it's upbeat, it's fresh, it's new. It's not like probably anything else you've seen. And that sounds cliche, but it really is completely different.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.